Work the system. The simple mechanics of making more and working less. Introduction. The simplest solution. Out of clutter, find simplicity. From discord, find harmony. Albert Einstein. One should choose the simplest explanation of a phenomenon, the one that requires the fewest leaps of logic. Or one could say, keep it simple, stupid. I live in a vibrant mountain resort town in the great American Northwest. My house is not large, but it's open and bright, furnished in a pragmatic, people actually live here way. It's everything I've ever wanted in a home. I sit at the dining room table in front of my laptop. Outside the window, the quiet of the late afternoon is tangible. It's June. The lawn is lush green and is the launching pad for a half-dozen huge ponderosa pines towering above. My house is atop a hill, and I gaze down on the small city below. It's another crystal-clear, cloudless day in Central Oregon. Yesterday was like that, and tomorrow will be the same. It's peaceful. Meanwhile, in town, my telephone answering service business churns away whether I'm thinking about it or not, providing me more than a good living. It wasn't always this way. For a decade and a half, my business experience was a chaotic morass of endless work, fire-killing, debt, health problems, and bad relationships. 15 years ago, at a point in time that I can pinpoint exactly, I experienced an unexpected shift in perception that began the transformation of my existence from chaos to calm. Now, truly managing my small business and the rest of my world, I'm no longer enmeshed in minutia. I'm an arm's-length observer of it. The numbers are good. Compared to back then, my work week is 2 hours instead of 80, and my earnings in a month far exceed what I used to make in a year. My health is back, too. I'm climbing, cycling, and skiing again. As for the subjective, it's no stretch to say my life has 10 times more peace and freedom. As my day slides by, I feel like an athlete in the zone, powerful, relaxed, and efficient. I look at my existence now and feel a certain element of incredulity, because my natural comportment has always included some flakiness. I've had a hard time focusing, sticking to things. I had no purpose, dropped out of college 3 times, got caught up in alcohol and drugs, moved from relationship to relationship at the spur of the moment, always dissatisfied with myself and my performance in life, clear up until the age of 50. But now, when it comes to the big things, my personal bearing is centered and deliberate. It's true, I can still display a certain surface distractedness when it comes to things I don't deem especially consequential, amusingly so at times. But on matters that carry weight, and when working toward goals that are important, I am determined and focused until I obtain the results I want. Getting to this place wasn't hard to do once my mindset shifted to view each day from a more intimate angle. Since I seized upon this deeper truth, I've been able to channel my efforts to get what I've always wanted. Did I have to work hard? Yes, for a short while there was some hard work. But in comparison to the nightmare of my previous existence, the effort was not much, and I was happy to do it, especially as the results began to roll in. How I did this, and how you can do the same, is the gist of this book. I direct Work the System to those who have the following chronic internal dialogue. There are things I must do right now, and there's barely enough time to do them. I will bulldoze my way through these tasks, and as usual, they will be completed just in time, but the results will be of marginal quality, and my body and mind will continue to be stretched to the breaking point. I'm tired and stressed. There is too much chaos in my life, and never enough money. My world is far from what I want it to be. If you own or manage a business, have a job, are a student, or engineer family life at home, there's a good chance this narrative caught your attention. This "I'm just barely hanging on" self-talk is endemic to every class and every age group. I'm a low-key guy. Not a lot of flash, no frills, and no advanced college degree. I've run the standard gauntlet of ups and downs, successes and failures, and like a lot of folks, I've worked hard. It's clear to me that pragmatism increases with age. One lives by trial and error, and lessons can be learned from being banged around. And I'm not afraid to face cold reality, as I exhibit a knee-jerk suspicion of unsupportable theory. My existence has a limited time span, and I treasure this life gift. My life is engineered now, planned and maintained. Work or play, the details get my full attention. No, of course I don't have everything neatly tied up in a bag. Who does? But I've found a way to take charge, to make my days orderly and calm. Complex jumble? What about you? How do you describe your typical day? Is it an amorphous, complex jumble of happenings, or is it a relaxed and ordered sequence of events? Is it chaotic, or is it under control? Do you have enough money? Do you spend enough time with family and friends? Through the day and through your life, are you in an endless race around a circular track, or are you climbing slowly and steadily toward a mountaintop? Are you getting what you want? If not, could it be a personal management problem? Don't confuse these questions with right, wrong, good, or bad, and don't inject some abstract theoretical, political, or religious bearing into your answers. Keep this mechanical, and equally important, keep it simple. And take heart. If you tend toward defining your existence as a complex jumble of happenings, rest assured that you already have 100% of the resources necessary to eliminate this too-common storyline. The work the system methodology is almost silly in its simplicity, but, and I risk hubris here, nothing less than profound in its capacity to transform. That's why I chose the words of William of Ockham for the epigraph of my book. To paraphrase, the simplest solution is invariably the most correct solution. Here, as I begin to discuss recognizable events and scenarios, habits, goals, successes, failures, and plain old common sense, you will relate to the method because it's believable. It's about simple mechanical improvements that will combine to transform your existence. Yet, what I describe here is not apparent to the casual observer. This book is not about feel-good, pie-in-the-sky promises. You won't find new think premises, nor is there pseudo-intellectual blathering. You will not be asked to write down tedious lists, memorize odd platitudes, repeat affirmations, make daily journal entries, publicize your newfound direction to your friends and family, or, worst of all, wait to see if yet another mysterious theory will make things better. This isn't a matter of blind faith. But if you think a new insight, sheer energy, clever thinking, and unbounded enthusiasm are enough to secure the freedom and income you want, think a bit further. Certain structures, certain mechanical processes must be in place before these important attributes can help deliver you where you want to go. Independence and wealth occur after the system mechanics are put in good order. So, is there something you must do, some work that you must perform? Yes, some written documentation. And if you lead people, you will teach them your new vision and strategy. But you're putting in your time and working hard anyway, right? For a while, you'll simply channel a portion of this time and energy toward step-by-step, one-time building efforts that will lead to permanent freedom, prosperity, and peace. And think again about racing around an endless circle versus steadily climbing upward. Effort is required either way, but know it's the climbing you want. Instead of depleting precious resources on getting nowhere, churning tedium, which is the hardest and most frustrating work of all, you will expend that same time and energy in a step-by-step, steady ascent that will provide a geometric return on investment. We'll be dealing with a perfunctory fact that most people overlook, due to a pervasive can't-see-the-forest-for-the-trees myopia. The system-based protocols discussed here are quietly used in large, successful organizations everywhere, but they are not often present in small businesses. And although the principles of the method are scattered among scores of time management, business, spiritual, and pop psychology writings, here they are grouped together to form an everyman's approach that is rooted in one fundamental truth. A life's mechanical functioning is a result of the systems that compose it. And the simple crux? It's this. If it's true that a life's mechanical functioning is a result of the systems that compose it, then reaching your goals does not lie in coping with the bad results of unmanaged systems. Doing that is a wasteful distraction. Rather, getting what one wants requires delving one layer deeper in order to work the systems that create the results. Hence the title of this book, Work the System. The first step, the getting it part, is to experience an awakening that will make you constantly aware of the separate systems of your life. Once you see your systems, working them is just common sense. Thoughtfully work your systems, and great results will spontaneously appear. Carefully paying attention. All of us have recurring individual systems we employ to good advantage. We have a multitude of these processes down pat, and we perform them efficiently and quickly today because we have practiced them over and over in the past. We've become expert at walking, driving a car, preparing breakfast, and playing a game. Why are we expert in these small system proceedings? Because they are simple, yes, but mostly because at some point we consciously paid close attention to the elements of the processes. We analyzed and adjusted and practiced the bit parts so that after a while we could execute the complete protocols with little effort, almost without thinking. But for many people, there is no deliberate effort to dissect and then perfect the sequential workings of more complex wide-angle system processes like careers, health, and relationships. Too many of us just churn along, wasting our days revisiting the same problems over and over again because we aren't focusing on the elements of the equation. So, to tackle the more involved challenges, the challenges that have stymied you because of their complexities, we're going to redirect the perceptive, investigative, and analytical skills you already possess. Overview of your new systems mindset posture. The systems mindset is different from the mental paradigm most people pack around day to day. Instead of seeing yourself as an internal component of circumstance, enmeshed within the day's swirling events, your vantage point is outside and slightly elevated from those events. The day's happenings are visible as separate and individual elements, arranged in logical sequences. You are an observer looking down on your world, examining the comings and goings of the day as if they are tangible physical objects. You see the separateness of the systems of your life. The components are simple and understandable. Wherever you look, the world's bustle makes sense. Step by step, one thing leads to another as the systems around you continuously execute. Your job is to work your systems. This is what you do. One by one, you take your systems apart, examine them, and then make them better. Over time, complexity and confusion decrease to be replaced by order, calm, and rock-solid self-confidence. There is little fire-killing and no confusion. And as you peer down at your handiwork, you feel an intense self-respect, and you are proud of what you've accomplished. All by yourself, you've created the life you've always wanted. I come to you as a project engineer. With blue-collar roots, I have a mixed-bag background. Land surveyor, heavy equipment operator, union man factory worker, door-to-door salesman, technical consultant, hamburger flipper, house painter, department store sales clerk, construction superintendent, design engineer, ditch digger, sales professional, builder, janitor, journalist, public speaker, book publisher, retail store owner, lab technician, logger, mill worker, machinist, stocks and commodities investor, writer, photojournalist, telecommunications entrepreneur, internet marketer, real estate salesman, kitchen worker, handyman, software developer, corporate CEO, business consultant, and business owner. I founded and operate a nonprofit organization that assists earthquake victims in northeast Pakistan, Azad Jammu, and Kashmir. Through my business, Centratel, my special expertise is telecommunications, taking information, processing it, and then passing it on. My personal comportment? I'm a handshake, not a man-hug kind of guy. Now my overall life role is as a project engineer. That is, someone who accepts a problem, designs a mechanical solution, and then makes that solution work in the real world. I'm a project engineer in every aspect of my being, including my family and friends' personal roles. Metaphorically, here's my day. After a solid night's sleep, I bounce out of bed, shower, eat a big breakfast, and jump into things full bore, plunging into the new day. Today, I'm working with my crew to build something tangible out of the design I created on the drafting table just yesterday. I'm on the job in a decent shirt, clean jeans, and work boots. My persona is relaxed, with a slight smile on my face just under the surface of my focused comportment. Again, metaphorically, I pull the levers and push the buttons of the unfolding day. My crew and I are lighthearted, relaxed, powerful, and efficient, and we're fast. Work feels good, and time flies as we cut a wide swath, making positive things happen as we convert yesterday's paper design into an element of today's physical world. We're creating something worthwhile. We're permanently improving things. This is what I want for you. A non-holistic approach. Is there a holistic or global side of you that balks at separating things to examine them individually? You may say, everything is connected and we're all one, and we must stop seeing ourselves as distinct from the world around us. You may think our lives are immeasurably complex, beyond human comprehension. That's fine for the big picture. I tend to think that way myself when I'm relaxed and daydreaming. But for now, here on this material earth where we must physically navigate each moment, put that aside and go with the case for separation and simple mechanics. Understand that repairing an entire scattered conglomeration of a life in one fell swoop is impossible. It can't be done holistically, despite the rightness that word suggests. Fixing anything of complexity requires proceeding one step at a time, one component at a time, a decidedly non-holistic approach. I don't care for the term holistic solution. Instead, I like the term holistic result, which suggests that each component subsystem within the organization is functioning at peak efficiency, resulting in an entity that is superb in fulfilling its purpose. So, it's okay to take your world apart, to examine it, to get things straightened out piece by piece. You could view things holistically later when you're not working on the details. There will be plenty of time for that. Changes in your life. Because this isn't a mystery novel, and because preparation is at the heart of the Work the System method, here's a two-part summary of how it will affect you and what it asks. First, here are 4 points about how acquiring the systems mindset will impact you personally. First, you will undergo an elementary yet fundamental shift in perspective. The systems mindset will probably arrive suddenly, as a stark awakening in a moment of time rather than over a long, drawn-out learning experience. After the mindset takes hold, moment to moment you will dispassionately observe the separate human and mechanical systems that comprise your world. These systems will stand apart from each other, starkly visible and sharply defined. You've turned a corner. Second, there will be no turning back. You can't go back. So, point 2 is a warning of sorts. Because of the obvious logic of it, the systems mindset is something you won't be able to shake. Third, you will not be swallowing unsupportable theories of reality. This is just a matter of more clearly seeing the world's mechanical workings. There's plenty enough reality without having to delve into questionable feel-good theory. Deep down, you will know the truth of the work the system method because it makes sense in your belly. And be assured that you won't sound flighty when you explain your new point of view to those around you. You're not going to lose your friends and family because you are not going to ask them for anything. You have nothing to sell. Instead, should they ask what's up, you'll explain what this is about, and they will be intrigued with what you have to say. Fourth, at first, there is some heavy lifting. Yes, you will undergo an exciting change of perspective, but that's not enough. At the beginning of the process, there is some sit-down work as you create documentation in order to better define your targets and to keep moving efficiently toward them. It's a superb investment because the end product will be a relaxed persona, plenty of money, and lots of free time. In all probability, it will be the best investment of time you will ever make. Boring but true. What is the single major operational difference between a large successful business and a small struggling one? Intense system management. Here's the second part of this nutshell summary, the 3 steps of the process. 1. Separation, dissection, and repair of systems. The incredibly satisfying process of exposing, analyzing, and then perfecting work, personal, and relationship systems. This ongoing effort includes creating new systems from scratch, as well as eliminating those that are holding you back. 2. Documentation. Creating written goals, principles, and processes that are guidelines for action and decision-making for you and for the people who work for you. This is not a feel-good exercise. It's the mandatory foundation for creating tremendous efficiency. This is the one-time heavy lifting, and it won't take long to get it up and running. And if you lead a team or department, you'll teach your people to do it. 3. Ongoing maintenance of systems, greasing the wheels. This is easy. The positive, tangible results of the work the system method are motivating because it's obvious the systems you've created are carrying the ball. You'll happily oversee your systems in order to keep them operating at peak efficiency. 2 items of note. First, at the end of most chapters, I've placed real-life examples to illustrate various aspects of the new approach. Some relate to the previous chapter, some don't. The examples will remind you that a mandatory element of the method is to view your world from a new perspective. The system's mindset vantage point is removed from the day's ongoing events. Only from an exterior position can system mechanics be properly examined and adjusted. From this outside observation post, you reach down to adjust those mechanics so they produce the results you want. Second, it's important we speak the same language. Here I define words and terms as they apply to the work the system method. Best to get familiar with them now, at the beginning. 99.9% of everything works fine. Look around. There is a penchant for efficiency in the world. The systems of the world want to work perfectly, and 99.9% of them do. Business. One does not have to show up in order to earn money. Closed system. A self-contained processing entity, easily discerned from its surroundings. Error of omission. A less than perfect situation that occurs because someone didn't do something. General operating principles. The second of the 3 primary work the system documents, a 2 to 4 page collection of guidelines for decision-making that is congruent with the strategic objective. Essential for the work environment, and in a simplified and shorter format, useful in one's personal life. Job or profession. One has to show up in order to earn money. Linear. This is how systems execute, in a 1, 2, 3, 4 step progression over time. Within its context, a process is not chaotic. It's logical, reliable, and simple to understand. Mechanical system. A physical car, house, tree, etc., that, because of its physicality, doesn't fluctuate in its form or execution of purpose. But also, within the work the system context, a formerly organic work process that has been made mechanically tangible via written documentation. Off-the-street people. These are the people who will do the work as viewed by business owners and managers. Depending on the situation, off-the-street workers can be novices or professionals. Organic work system. Recurring human communication or work process in which the components, and therefore the outcome, vary according to personality, mood, time of day, etc. Not a good thing. Outside and slightly elevated. The essential and almost metaphysical perspective is external and above. The view downward also encompasses the observer, you. Perfect. In the work the system world, 98% accuracy is perfect because trying to achieve that additional 2% demands too much additional output. Primary system or system of systems. Composed of subsystems, a whole encapsulated entity with an ultimate purpose. An organism unto itself. Project engineer. The role of a business owner or manager who adopts an outside system improvement posture rather than an inside doing the work role. For personal life, it's an in-the-moment positioning in which one's systems are continuously contemplated, analyzed, adjusted, and controlled. Recurring system. An enclosed process that executes over and over again. Strategic objective. The first of 3 primary work the system documents. It's a single page that defines goals, describes methodology, lists strengths, and prescribes action. System, subsystem, or process, mechanism, or machine. An enclosed entity with numerous spinning wheels, all contributing to the singular purpose of that entity, that is, to accomplish a goal. Within the work the system context, we are especially interested in recurring systems. The terms system and subsystem are interchangeable depending on context. System improvement, the heart of the method. In the workplace, it's the relentless search and repair process of tooling a process closer and closer to perfection, all while documenting and maintaining that process so its hyper-efficient execution will recur every time. System management, a focus on maximizing the efficiency of processes in order to prevent recurring problems, increase production and quality, and save time. It is the opposite of fire killing. Systems mindset, or work the system mindset, the embedded vision of the world as an orderly collection of processes, not as a chaotic mass of sights, sounds, and events. Tweaking, the antithesis of neglect, the assertive, dogmatic, boots-on-the-ground work of making incremental subsystem enhancements that will ultimately produce a hyper-efficient primary system. Work the system method, the mechanical process of establishing goals and then perfecting the systems that will ensure attainment of those goals. Working procedures, the third of the 3 primary work the system controlling documents. These are written instructions that describe how individual systems of the workplace are to operate. They are the end products of the system improvement process. Written working procedures are not often necessary for personal life. Working man's, or working woman's, philosophy. A set of beliefs stemming from the hard, cold, sometimes dirty realities of life's job site. The pragmatic view that a carefully composed blueprint directs the assembly of individual pieces into an excellent end product.